In this video, we're going to be talking about the fastest way to sign 5 to 15 clients monthly for any real estate business, whether you're an everyday residential agent, wholesaler, or for honestly any other local business. And we're going to be talking about the systems behind over a dozen plus clients who have done similar. So let's get straight into it. So the number one thing we got to be talking about first is that most realtors and real estate businesses below the 20 to 30K month range have the same exact problem, okay? Insufficient lead flow. That's where it's at. Not any sort of optimization issues with your landing pages, your follow-up flows, or anything like that. And the key is to avoid the common trap of focusing on those things I'm talking about, which are these fulfillment bottlenecks or these minor optimizations, because the real issue is none of those, but rather not having enough prospects in your pipeline in order to even be able to test if these systems work properly. And so this follows the abundance principle, right? When you have steady lead flow, you can optimize everything else from a position of strength, because without leads, you're making desperate decisions, whether it's trying to fulfill a certain client and making all of these obsessive changes for them in order to see if it'll work for other clients, instead of just having enough clients in your pipeline in order to make calculated decisions based on just strictly data without emotion or desperation being tied into it. And if you allow this to happen, it's going to hurt your long-term growth if you make desperate decisions. So when you're bottlenecked around fulfillment, like I said before, that's the reason you're sticking below the 30K a month range. So you can solve this with the simple growth equation. And there are two levers within this equation that are going to answer and solve this problem. So either you're going to pull the lever of acquiring more customers, or you're going to be acquiring more revenue per customer. But for the most part, for realtors under 30K a month, the focus should almost always, 99% of the time, maybe more like 95% of the time, should be focused on getting more customers first. Because the mistake that many of the agents are making right now is trying to optimize the revenue per customer, when honestly, they just don't have enough customers to begin with. And for example, I see this a lot with agents starting out shooting for luxury clients when they don't even have a core customer base to even start with. So if we've established the fact that you need to get more clients, there are 4 ways in order to do so. Number 1 is content marketing. We can organize content marketing into 2 different buckets, okay? Now, bucket 1 is the high volume content creation bucket. And this is going to be for less than 1% of agents. And the advantages of this is, you can drive 30 to 100,000 targeted monthly viewers into your funnel, and content is going to become the primary business driver for your business. So if you have a YouTube channel that you've stuck out for a long time, you've made it work out, this can be the primary driver, and you can easily achieve over 30K a month just from doing this. And these creators, this is the caveat here, were often first movers, okay, in their space, and they're exceptionally talented at understanding marketing, psychology, how videos and all that kind of stuff works. And they've used the right resources in order to achieve that. But with all of that being said, most of the time this isn't going to work for you specifically in the 99th percentile, but we'll break that down. And in this group, paid ads are optional, but they do accelerate growth if that's the trajectory of what their goals are for that particular point in time. But as I was saying before, for everybody else, the other 99% of realtors, you're going to fall into the other bucket, which is understanding the fact that organic views are going to be pretty terrible for you, even for successful businesses, and only a small percentage of these viewers are actually going to turn into qualified buyers. And if you want to take that route of actually creating a successful organic channel, it's just going to progress too slowly in order for you to achieve the results you're looking to achieve within like a reasonable time frame, right? Whatever you quantify as reasonable is obviously subjective, but if you're not looking to grow your business within the next 2 years, maybe you'll see content being good for you. But for everyone else that's looking for that semi-rapid change, you're not going to be doing the organic content strategy. So there is a solution for bucket 2, which is treating the content you create, the organic content, as sales assets and not just viral content, okay? And basically what you want to focus and double down on is just showing proof, expertise, handling objections, all of those kinds of things, because what this will do is it's going to boost your credibility and your authority by doing this. And it's going to allow you to accept low views because you're going to use paid ads that are going to actually drive the traffic to this content instead. And when ads drive traffic to these deep nurturing sequences, The leads are then going to convert 2 to 5 times higher, and you're not going to have to worry about, depending on how well your content is, and making desperate decisions in order to get actual volume and traffic. Now, number 2 is cold calling. And to be honest with you, there's no real advantage of cold calling here for 99% of realtors, okay? We're going to be, relating here on a second, because I've done my cold calling share myself, right? And it's a constant mental stress. It's extremely hard to scale. And the problem really comes down to the fact that it's now oversaturated, and you need to come up with new scripts. And honestly, just prospects are burnt out, tired of hearing all of the same things over and over and over again. And basically, it's just highly competitive. And the amount of skill it takes in order to be a good cold caller now is just too much effort required. That's going to leach into your deliverables and all other things and all other aspects of your business that you need to run. So basically, all of these consistent admin requirements as well, they're going to set you back monthly, right? Do not call list, compliance issues, all that kind of stuff. Those also are a huge issue. So outbound, with this being said, has become increasingly difficult as more realtors are attempting to make more and more cold calls, right? It's leading to oversaturated markets, and above just competition, it's leading to a trust recession, which I talk about in all my videos. And this is the main reason is why cold calling is just not a high leverage tool. Now, you can absolutely use this, and there are success cases that are outliers, right? Specific situations do work well in this case scenario. If you're hyper niche specific, you focus on a specific type of luxury client, for example, with an ICP that you specialize in highly well, that also have a very targeted offer in a specific market, you can have cold calling work in your favor. But most realtors don't have this, especially when starting off, and they're going to struggle significantly with being burnt out and just outbound. Now, for number 3, we have partnerships. The concept of partnerships basically is just finding businesses, other brokerages, agents in your same market that are serving your same market with non-competitive services, right? So if you're a residential agent, find mortgage brokers, agents in other local markets, maybe upsizers if you work with specifically like listings, et cetera, right? But the problem with this is that most potential partners also struggle with the client acquisition themselves. And so they don't probably have quality referrals to send to you. And this leads agents into the trap of networking with other people for no real reason, because if both parties lack strong client flow, then you're just going to be wasting time networking with people that aren't actually helping you. But on the flip side, the opportunity is when you find a killer partner who has an abundant amount of client flow. This is when partnerships can generate significant business very, very fast. And for number 4, we have YouTube ads. Now, YouTube ads work specifically right now for real estate in 2025 because this is what's getting agents from 1 to 2 listings a month to something along the lines of 8 to even above 15 consistent listings, because it allows you to target homeowners with specific zip codes who are actively watching real estate content, home improvement shows, or other local area videos. And now it activates the leverage effect, because when you have consistent listings coming in, everything changes in your business, because now you can be pickier about which listings you want to take. You can price your services confidently, and you get better listings overall, which then, snowballs, gets better results, which attracts more high quality sellers, etc. And now you're breaking the barrier. And it's also breaking the purgatory cycle, right? Without consistent leads, most businesses will go up and down in a revenue pattern. But once you're above that 30K monthly revenue, you now have more resources to fix problems faster. But below that threshold, the fear of wasting money on ads creates a constriction that prevents your growth from passing that certain barrier. So there are some strategy considerations here that you need to understand. And that is, you do have to record video ads yourself. So you have to know the strategy behind it. And most likely, if you want to be really profitable, you need to have it customized to your specific market and your ICP, okay? The riches are in the niches. If you work specifically with luxury, you're going to do better than just casting a wide net to get every single buyer and seller into your net that has a certain script into your funnel, etc. But if you have a hyper-specific niche, like specific new construction homes within a certain price range, and you specialize in that, chances are you're going to find the customer you're looking for. You're going to be able to service them better, get more deals out of it. And it's much easier to grow that way than just casting that big net and trying to find everybody else. But the strategy with this whole thing, in order to get time-efficient execution on this, is getting an editor, okay? If you don't have an editor, the learning curve is going to be exponential. It's going to be insane. You're not going to have any time to actually have any leverage, right? You're going to spend all your time creating the videos instead of also having the deliverables, and you're going to be stuck in the organic content issue and same sort of hamster wheel that we were talking about before. So with an editor, the entire content requirement can be completed in 2 hours weekly, right? And this removes any sort of excuse of time constraints, etc. But what you want to learn is how to run YouTube ads effectively, which is the primary skill, and then learn how to create supporting content. So it should be, like I said before, sales focused, not just entertainment. And then you can learn how to build and nurture an email list, an SMS list, and then develop a solid sales process out of this. So if you consistently execute on this simple strategy for the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to see, and it's going to result in effective paid ad campaigns. You're going to have content that supports your conversions, and you're never going to have to worry about leads again because you have a systemized approach where you're leveraging your time, investing your money in ways that are going to people that are targeted for your ICP, coming to you, ready to work with you, that you can service without having to chase them, cold call them, and do any of that manual stuff that leeches in and your time in giving deliverables to your specific clients. Now, if you're interested in learning more about YouTube ads and how to implement them in your real estate business, I highly recommend you check out this video right here. Aside from that, this is the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.